Hi, and thank you for watching TargetedWest.com. This is DJ Chris, your moderator. I'm a targeted individual with V2K and Synthetic Dreams. This is show number 146. It's the 5th of January 2025. The opinions of those are that of their own and not that of DJ Chris. Please mute yourself and put a *6 on yourself if you're not talking. Thank you. I don't have Tranquility here to help me on the board, so anyway, like I said, the opinions are that of the people who call in and such, and not that of DJ Chris or TargetedWest.com. Tonight is open mic. There are no guests. Every once a month, I have someone. I take a 1 month off and 1 week off, and I basically have an open mic and let people talk. So that's what I do. So anyway, without further ado, it's open mic. Come on in. What happened to you? You were talking earlier.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was just. I didn't know. I didn't know we had open mic night tonight. I thought it was.
It's open mic. Yeah, come on in. What's going on? So you got your neighbors or Air Force person, and they're harassing you, maybe?
Well, very unusual because no one ever disposes garbage from that apartment. Everyone's got their little garbage pails that put out, and that apartment doesn't have it. I never see any garbage disposed from that apartment. So, and I wrote that to the apartment complex. I wrote an email saying, highly unsuspicious. My apartment keeps getting broken in, and yet these people next door are suspicious because there's never any garbage disposed from their apartment. So
you're monitoring your neighbor's garbage?
It's a big deal around here with the garbage. They call it valet service and the garbage pails.
Yeah, we have that. We have that here.
Yeah, but it's not that I monitor it, but after a while, you just notice things, right? Especially with the garbage, because my garbage pails were stolen after I first moved here. And then they started throwing junk in my garbage pail. And the thing is, they won't take the garbage unless it's in one of those white plastic bags inside the garbage pail. So they started throwing loose garbage in my garbage.
Did you ask for another garbage pail?
I did. It took
Oh, good.
It took 3 weeks, and for them to give me another garbage pail. But when they started putting loose garbage in, all I did is turn the garbage pail upside down, dump it out on the ground, and put my plastic bag in there. So it doesn't matter to me, So I go out there the next 3 or 4 days, and everything's all cleaned up. So that was the last time they threw garbage.
So you mentioned earlier you're considering doing a podcast?
Well, somebody was trying to get me to do a podcast. A friend of mine, another targeted.
I think that's a very good idea. I'll do your artwork for you and help you with that.
Yeah, I wanted a big gong like one of those radio talk shows, and you get to hit the gong. I almost bought one.
They have those on Amazon, I'm sure. I'm sure they have gongs for sure.
Yeah. But I was reading about it, but I have to look. Like I said, I hooked up the OBD computer to my car, and it wouldn't read the temperature of the transmission fluid, and I didn't have a problem in the past with it. And now I'm thinking, I was sitting here and thinking about it. It goes, why can't I read the temperature of the fluid in the transmission? And then it dawned on me. they must have screwed around with the connector or wiring in the transmission. That was the only reason. So tomorrow I got to go underneath the car with a flashlight and look at the transmission. And because when you fill the fluid in the transmission, the temperature of the fluid has to be between 40 and 60 degrees Celsius. So it's kind of complicated. So in the past, I had no problems reading the temperature of the fluid. So they definitely broke in because I left the fitting inside the plug, and then I did it intentionally, and then I found it in front of the car near the tire. So I knew they were there. That they send little notes like that to you, little tells. Right, we've been there. So. Yeah, they break in. They just love breaking in. But I'm gonna take my food with me when I go. Gotta empty out my refrigerator, put it on the back of my bicycle, and then drive it up to the post box, when I leave. And so they can't really do anything to my food, poison me. But I'm going to try to get back on the radio station. I need more time talking to them, and I need to be more calm when I talk to them. The last time, I was waiting for over an hour and a half to talk, and then they were hitting me with radiation, and it was just terrible. And then I kind of stuttered.
Charlie, where are you going from there? Where are you going to go? Can you say
where we're going to move to?
Yeah. Are you going to say out loud or?
No, I was thinking, of going down to Mexico for a while.
Oh, fun!
See if they catch. My plans to, they know these things. They read my mind, so I can't hide it. I was going to rent a car in Cancun, and then head south. And maybe I can. I don't know if I could take the car out of the country or not, but maybe head into Belize. So, but I'm going to make them work. Make them follow me. And but I can't stay here. They're just cooking me alive with radiation constantly. And I think they're painting the building, and I think Friday. It's Friday. What's today? Saturday. That was Saturday. I think one of the painters were perps, and they were hitting me a lot on Saturday with radiation. And I think it's because I went on a radio show on Friday, possibly. But
not good.
I
was thinking about something.
But what do you think about the motion detector? Do you think they can circumvent the motion detector?
I have a feeling that they can.
You think they can? It works on a PIR system. I don't know what the PIR system is. Some kind of sonar or something. Radar. But this thing's like 125 decibels, so. But I know that the property manager is involved in this. I know it, but she pretends like she's just a regular person, a regular manager. So
you can figure everyone around you locally pretty much is involved in one way or another.
Yeah. Well, all the neighbors do the gang stalking thing. You could tell that they've been all talked to. It doesn't really bother me. I just ignore it. But I go out there with my 35 millimeter camera, and I take pictures of them. Not the neighbors. And I record all this on I got a digital voice recorder, because remember that judge that was on, I think she was on the V2K call, that judge out of South Carolina. She's Target. She says to get the digital voice recorder. So every day I just, I go out there and see things. I just come back and talk on the voice recorder. It's kind of cathartic too. You don't have anybody to tell, but talk to a recorder. Hopefully one day I'll get to play it in a courtroom. I was waiting for Anna Toledo to come on the calls again, because.
Would you like me to ask Anna Toledo to come on? I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna tell her is I was gonna donate at least a third of my final award. If I do get an award for this from the courts, I'm gonna give her the money, at least a third of the award. She says she doesn't have a lot of money or so forth, and she's working very hard. So I just wanted to tell her.
Aren't targeted justice the ones that say it's not your neighbors or it's not people around you? I think I've heard them say that.
That's what they said. Yes.
That's their belief.
They said it out of context and made everybody think that it's not their neighbors when that's not true. Sometimes it is your neighbors. It depends on everybody's case. My neighbors harass the crap out of me. So yeah, HC, it can be the neighbor.
Everywhere we go, whether you think it's every TI, I'm betting every TI has local people involved.
Well, like I said, when my next door neighbor, right? She was Asian. She moved out, and then this person moved in right after I moved in. So I think they get to these people and move them out, and then they use it as a house that they move people in and out of. So I don't know if you want to call them your neighbors or not. They're not regular neighbors. They're just perp neighbors that moved in. Now, before I moved into the apartment, I stayed at one of those residential apartments in a hotel. I forgot what it was called. Anyway, they had me up on the 3rd or 4th floor. So when I checked in about 10:30 at night, I asked the clerk. I go, well, do you have anything on the 1st floor? I really want to be on the 1st floor because I know they're going to shoot you up from the bottom, right? At least you know that you're shooting you down from the top. Anyway, so I go out to the car and I get my stuff to check in the room. As I'm moving my stuff in a room, the couple across the hall is moving out of their hotel room into another hotel. This is at 10:30 at night. It's 60 degrees outside, and the guy's like carrying his CPAC along with him. It's like, and I look at him, and the guy goes, "Oh yeah, the air conditioning stopped working." And then 60 degrees outside. So they got these people to move at the moment's notice to get out of their hotel room so the perps could move in across the way. And I think that's what they do.
Yeah.
Right. Even in an apartment, they get, they get, oh, we're going to move you out. We're going to move you another place, And I think that's happened to me in Vegas too, because there was this family living next to me with two or three kids, and eventually they moved out, and these like government cars all of a sudden showed up in their driveway, and I never saw the family ever. She was a nice woman, and nice couple boys, and they seemed very, very, very happy, family next door. And they just disappeared, and these government cars showed up.
Yeah, that's
scary. The government has unlimited, as everyone knows, right? Unlimited resources, unlimited amount of money. And And that's what I wanted to say on the radio show. If they're spending all their time torturing us, stalking us, instead of looking for the real bad guys, like the New Orleans attacker,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why. Oh, then the FBI comes out today and says, "Oh, we thwarted two terrorist attacks in the last couple of months." That's what they said. And I go, well, how come we never heard about it then? How come we just heard about it now? You can't trust anything those people say. You can't trust anything the government people ever say.
If you're listening to this recording, we have open mic going on. Thank you for listening on your favorite platform, Spotify listening, or watching me listen to people talk. So anyway, it's open mic. Come on in, anybody. We're interviewing Lord of the Targeted, and he's considering starting his own conference call.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm okay, Chris. How are you?
Good.
Good. As that man was speaking about people moving in, and the original ones come in, and then the perps come in to take their place. Same thing. I remember. It brought back a memory to me. I remember moving into an apartment building, and I remember people moving in, all their stuff, a son and a father. And very shortly after that, they were gone. Other people moved in. So it seems like, and at the time, when my thoughts were at the time about it was that I knew I was targeted. I had been targeted for a lot of years already. My thoughts were, well, someone signs the lease, and that's legit, and that person's name is on the lease, plausible deniability, and then perps move in. And so it's covert for the perps because they don't really live there. Other people signed the lease. So it erases any kind of tracking of them who are coming in, plausible deniability. And before I found out I was targeted, I was living in a house. And all of a sudden the house next to me was vacant. And I was wondering why is this house vacant for years? It's vacant for years. And every now and again, I would see a vehicle pull up in the driveway and go in there and bring things in there, bring things out, and stay there and then leave. And I had no clue. I thought something was really suspicious, but I couldn't piece it together because I didn't know what targeting was. I had a thought maybe I was being surveilled. Then it finally dawned on me: am I getting watched here? Because I had some odd experience with the neighbors around there where I was getting harassed by some neighbors, covert targeting. I didn't know I was targeted there. And so I thought, maybe it has something to do with that, And but yeah, that's what they do. They even if it's only stalking you or to terrorize you or to scare you, to break into your place, to do all those other nefarious things, breaking into your place, gaslighting you and all that, and stealing things from you, even if it's only vandalizing you, and not weapons. They're doing a lot of misdeeds, doing a lot of vandalism and illegalities, minus the weapons. So you put the weapons in with that, and it's just monstrous. I mean, it's just over the top insanity. Criminality, extreme criminality. And so I just wanted to say that. And they're still doing it today. It hasn't stopped yet for me. After almost over 20 years, it hasn't gotten any better for me. I have to say that.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, meaning it doesn't. I'm getting targeted now in more things now. I'm getting a lot of body pain now. And I know it's not my body. I know it's synthetic. I know I'm getting hit with weapons. And this is a new thing for the last month or something like that. Never had it before. Now I'm getting that. Because, I realize it needs my attention. And if I'm feeling pain in my body, uncomfortability, I'm bringing attention to that. And that means I'm bringing attention to to the crime, to being harmed. That's what that means, and that's attention to that. So it needs attention, whether it's to a so-called person who you think it may be, or a so-called criminal, or a criminal, or it's to a weapon or a pain. It's still giving attention to the targeting. It's still your mind's on that forcibly, rather than, well, I'm going to do my hobby now. I'm going to go do a painting right now, or I'm going to do a piece of artwork. I'm going to sit down and do my writing uninterrupted. Well, if you're getting hit in your body, as a lot of us know, you get interrupted because you have pain, and it's interruptive, and that's the big thing with getting hit with weapons. It's interruptive. It gets in the way of you living.
The weapon of mass distraction, or stuff, as I call it in my V2K. Yeah, it distracts you. It interrupts. It's all designed that way. Keep you from being a good warrior. It's a war weapon designed to keep you from being a good warrior.
Disrupt and destroy program is what an officer who is a TI now called it.
Yeah, because I've been getting V2K for over 10 years, and it can't seem to break my warriorship against the V2K. I'm very mentally tough. So now it's hitting my body. And you know what? I'm still mentally tough. I still tell myself every day it's not real. It's doing something to my mind.
Did they get your lower back?
No, they're getting, I hate to tell you, but getting my groin area.
I've heard that a lot. Yeah, that's terrible.
Not my private, not inside my private part, but around the sides of that, like the first chakra. Like right there above my
below your belly button
is
your sacral chakra. Yes,
that's where they're going, and also my foot. They're it feels like they've taken circulation out of my foot, especially at night. And so I tell myself this is not real. They're doing something to my brain to make me think that's happening, because I'm healthy. I have a strong immune system, so I know it's not real. So I am praying all the time to God. When I pray to God, it goes away. I want you to know that. I start praying to God, and it goes away. I don't feel it anymore. Now, isn't that interesting? And so I put my focus, instead of on that, on God. I put my mind on God when I'm getting the pain, and it goes away. Because
that's
God
incredible.
Is more
I discovered God after I got targeted, and I know these people are satanic and devilish and do not want to hear about God, and that really makes them sick, actually. So you're scaring them off.
Yeah, I think they're terrified of God, terrified, because
yes, they are.
My relationship is getting stronger with God, because I'm getting hit, and sometimes I put my hand, I vibrate over there, and it stops it too. The vibration stops it. It really does. But on my foot, that's a tough one. I don't know what to do. The vibration is not helping the foot very much. So I'm
Is it your left foot?
trying to figure it. Yeah, it is my left foot.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought so. That's your meridian of energy that goes down to that leg.
I know it wants me to have less energy. It wants me to deplete it. It wants to deplete my energy.
Correct.
But I will not let that happen. And it's doing sleep deprivation now on me more than it ever has. And so it figures with the sleep deprivation, getting like tired with getting because when you're in pain, it drains your energy, right? So it figures between trying to drain my energy with pain and then sleep depriving me, I'm going to have less energy. But you know what? It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm not letting it happen. So I vow.
Well, you're a strong lady. I can tell you that part. You're very strong.
I am. I'm getting stronger because I need to, Chris. I must to carry on, because this wants to take you out. However, everyone has their own story about how they may be taken out, but they want to take us out.
Like Michael Parsons says, it's a slow kill. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a slow kill.
Anyway, it's open mic if you'd like to chime in and come on in and talk with us. We're just talking about targeting.
How recent, Amy, is hitting your body, which I'm in the camp that says it's direct energy, but how recent is that, where they're attacking your body now? I think you said that was recent.
Yeah, it's about a month now.
Wow, that is new for a TI. Wow.
Yeah, just around the holidays, when the holidays started, like right after Thanksgiving. Yeah. So, so I'm just, I'm not letting it happen because our minds are very powerful, and then to bring in God along with that, there's no way. There's no way. And I'm not afraid of death. I'm really not. And when God wants to take me, God will take me, not before then. And I will go to God.
Exactly.
I will never.
Exactly. Our lungs are everything. Yep. Yep.
Yes. That's right. That's right. That's right, HC. That's exactly right.
I agree.
I've got a question for everybody on the call.
Hello, Jen. Jen, come on in.
Hi, you. It's good to hear your voice.
Thank you. I'm here every Sunday. Tip the waitress.
Right. I'm curious as to know if anybody knows something more scientific about blocking dew fall, because I've been getting a lot of dews, and I know that dews is the biological damage catalyst, and it's really freaky when you're getting dews. It's hot. It's like this hot, sandy spray. It's not like the microwave. And, I cover up with the silver, Armadillo silver fabric that Lily recommends. And I've got these polarized ski goggles, and I put those on. You better believe it. And it's an old beat-up leather jacket. It doesn't do what it should. But that's how I deal with dews. Usually they wake me up violently with this in the wee hours, 2 to 4 or something. But it's just so violent, and as far as I'm concerned, it's dews that gave me cataracts. And there isn't any ophthalmologist that so far that has given my story serious consideration. And the last PCP doctor I told, I didn't talk about being a TI and getting different stuff. I just said I have Havana syndrome. And it was a lot simpler. I don't know if anybody has something to say about this. I've got a lot of work to do before I leave this town. And boy, I want to leave this town because they're working with law enforcement. And this is a situation I had in St. Louis, too. I'm in Missouri, kids, and I don't know, can anybody relate to this? Does anybody, I remember Bobby Pettage, or what did she go by, these initials?
Yeah, she's around somewhere, actually. I had her on one time.
Yeah. And she talked about doing all this stuff. It sounded like it was working. She grabbed something she made, and it was like a shield.
That's great. I don't want to interrupt, but we do have a quick message from our sponsor. But of course, my screen just died. It keeps, I don't know, my computer gets taken over when I do these calls. Look at that. That's amazing. I'm completely...
Anyway.
It's Windows. Windows pops up, has a pop-up, and comes up at the most inappropriate time. I'll be right back, Jen, so please stand by. We got a message from our friends at CyberShield, which you may want to consider.
This is cybershieldinfo.com. We manufacture a shielding device that protects the body and head from harmful ionizing electromagnetic frequencies. This is the most powerful high-tech shielding device made specifically for targeted individuals who are assaulted with harmful radiation and pain. Do you want to feel better? We also offer complimentary in-person demonstrations in the San Francisco Bay Area. For photos, pricing, and more details, visit cybershieldinfo.com.
Again, that's cybershieldinfo.com. If you have any questions, Jax is here and available to answer them for you. Jen, you were talking about that this weird directed energy weapon effect that you're getting, and you're hoping for some way to get relief.
Usually my perps kicking on in the wee hours when I'm in bed, and it's like a real shock to wake up to that. You know, it's this hot, sandy spray coming down on you. And, you know, I've tried going out to my car. It's very cold here, 22 degrees. And I've, you know, the same old stuff I use for microwave helps a lot. And you got to cover your eyes. And they really, it's like they're obsessed with taking my vision or accelerating my cataracts. And all of this stuff increased tremendously because I bought the Cyber Shield. And I got hit so bad that I couldn't handle anything. I mean, I was put down, you know, and when targeting gets that bad, you just, what can you do? You just got to ride it out. And I'm a lot better now, and I need to talk to David Rubel. So I'm going to talk to him specifically about my PC lacking the right stuff. And unfortunately, it's come at a time where I'm financially really tight. You know, so it's really confusing. You get confused, and it's alarming when you're mentally confused and disoriented, like it's happening every day. Anyway, yeah, if anybody can relate to this, I can't, you know, sometimes you just wake up in the morning or you get through the day to a point where I can't believe this is happening, or I can't believe what I've been through. So,
is that your washing machine in the background?
It's a fan.
It's a fan. We're all wondering what that was.
Yeah, the tapping. Yeah, my fan got broken, but it still helps when I'm getting hit. I turn on, I get that airflow going. And I've got a fan in my office. I got a fan out in the hall. I've got a fan that doesn't work too great in the kitchen. But I find that airflow really helps. And anyway, that's, you know, I'm just getting stuff over with. But me getting the Cyber Shield just made my perps go just off the chain. They just went crazy. There's this young man that's obsessed with me. This is beyond anything I've ever known. And since the WPD has been, the officers have been so nasty. I emailed Richard Lighthouse and I told him, I go, the police department here refuses to acknowledge any vandalism. And I guess after all these years I should know better. But they refuse to give me a police report that isn't filled with police gossip. I mean, I'm on the watch list. And, I got placed on the watch list by a St. Louis policeman because he was told by somebody in Florida that I sold drugs. I don't know. Maybe he's a white supremacist Nazi. I really don't know. But it's so cult. It is just what's the word I want? The gossip. I mean, Eleanor White called all of this gossip. But there really is the campaign of gossip that goes on so many TIs. And it's just rubbish, And, and this got started in the 80s. God. And it's like, wow, Anyway, I've got a plan to do some extra blocking plus the cyber shield, and as usual, if they have the high tech advisors that can tell me how to hook all this stuff up, because it involves a cape that hangs from the ceiling, and then I guess it's about getting your bed grounded. I really need to do something a lot more intense than the cyber shield. These guys, they're like, as far as I'm concerned, they're like a cult, and it works with a lot of the police officers in this town, because that's the way it was in St. Louis. So if anybody can relate, speak up. I hope to hear from you.
It's open, Mike, if you'd like to chime in and talk. It's TargetedWest.com. Come on in, HC.
Is she saying that the police ignore her? I'd rather have that, and then rather than being fake to my face when I know what they're doing, behind my back.
Yeah. Well, the police department here is supporting the cybernetic torture, the cyber torture.
That's part of it.
Do-fall is nothing to ignore. I've got a lot of physical damage, and I'm ready to just... Go ahead. Go ahead.
They're part of it. If they're party to it, they have to be party to it at the local level, because it's law enforcement that has to know who their TIs are and, what they're supposed to do to them, and, how to treat them, for the script.
Well, I just find that the police are allowing this to be done to me because they think I'm a bad lady.
Well, I'm betting they're more involved than just letting it, is my point, because I know law enforcement.
Uh-huh. Well, and that's something that Mr. Lighthouse mentioned, that gaslighters, gangstarters, they actually believe what they're doing is okay because this is a bad person.
They're right, and we're the problem. Definitely, that's what they believe. They're doing the right thing for a good cause, and we're the problem.
Yeah. And what comes next? I've already had one encounter meeting with the chief of police here, and I had my big brother there. And, of course, the police chief lied. He said this is coming from another country. Well, America's pretty powerful. If we saw that this was coming from another country, we'd be in war.
Yeah, you're right. Of course he lies. And he has to come up with something. He cannot admit the truth. Any TI who thinks anybody that knows about this, which the first local people would be law enforcement, is going to admit to the truth, they really need to get a clue, because who's going to admit about a highly classified big secret program.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it seems to me that in California the cops are a lot cooler than they are in the Midwest. I can't believe how the officers treated me. I mean, I've heard horror stories from Constance, and
I still rather, but the law enforcement out here are fake to my face, and then create the hell for me 24/7. So if you would rather have them be fake to your face, I'm not in that camp. I like people being exactly what I know them to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, gosh, I was stupid enough to say the word gang stalker, and I immediately got jumped to mental illness. I mean, that's how hip they are. I had an officer signature me for a location in my own basement because I was trying to show him all the vandalism. And I put a hasp lock on my front door, like Mr. Lighthouse says to do. And I won't leave this place without it being taped up. I initial it, I take a picture of it, and then there's no way that they can break in because my basement doesn't have an exit or an entry. It's just the front door. And that's exactly how they were getting in. They were shoving I don't know how you would do your front door to break in, but that's how they were getting in. Because I put a swing lock on my back door, and unless there's a miniature or a midget, to go through my, the little tiny area over my bedroom, I mean, I can't imagine somebody breaking in that way. It's really trippy. There's a lady in North California that, people have found tunnels. They're just obsessed from not being locked out. I mean, somehow, I don't know. It seems like I'm blocking people from breaking and entering. I don't know, but it's really freaky. Anyway, I'm going to get the Cyber Shield configured, and right now it's just a financial situation. I have to just let it happen on a slow basis. So anyway.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. It is now time for the TI Book Club, if that's okay. And thank you, Jen.
Yeah.
It's time for the TI Book Club. And here's the intro.
It's time for the TI Book Club, where every book opens a door to new worlds and shared journeys. Here, we uncover hidden gems, specially selected for TIs, and always within your reach. Be part of a community that reads together, grows together, and sees the world through the same lens. Don't just listen to stories, live them with us. Join now at bookclubs.com/TIBookClub/join, and let's turn the pages of adventure together.
Yes, myself and my Tranquility and Laura have picked the book of the week out, and it is The Deep State. It was also a book Anthony recommended, Inside the Government Secrecy Industry. That's called The Deep State, Inside the Government Secrecy Industry by D.B. Brady and Mark Ambinder. We gave it a 7. Of course, I read the first 60 pages so far, and I find it to be very interesting. Of course, it's a lot of information that you know about the deep state. But do you believe that the targeting is from the deep state? I believe it is. And this book will kind of give you an idea who you're dealing with, the secrets that go on in the government that we don't have any information about as a public. So it's a good book, and so check it out. And that was your TI Book Club. And if you want to join, go ahead and send us a message at djchris@targetedwest.com or join at bookclubs.com/TI-bookclub/join. Thank you. And don't forget about my coloring book, and that is available at lulu.com, and Jax is showing that on the screen right now. That's the coloring book by DJ Chris. Anyway, back to the open mic. If you guys would like to chat, come on in.
Yeah, I want to say that the ordeal of Gilbert Pinhole was absolutely a great listen. I got it on audio book because I had a free credit on Audible, and it was that guy was definitely targeted, just not with direct energy, but he had everything else.
And you'll be available in a couple weeks to talk about that, because the book happens to be in my current read section. It was a coincidence that they mentioned that, unless they're looking at the book club, which is fine. But I'll be talking about it in a couple of weeks. Again, I'll start reading it. That'd be cool if you could talk about it.
Yeah, by then, in a couple of weeks, I don't trust my memory, but we'll see.
Yeah, probably a couple of weeks or a week or so. Yeah, probably do it. I'm going to start reading it, or if I put it in the book club. So give me a week. Catch up. Anyway, TI Book Club, join today. Anyway, if you're watching this recording, the TI Book Club also has free books, PDFs, besides book recommendations, and you read at your own pace. If you're watching this video on your favorite platform, please like, subscribe, and make a comment. If you have any books that you know about that I may not have in the book club, let us know, and we will add them. So please drop me a line. Thank you. It's open mic. Come on in. Can you put your mic on mute there, Jen? I don't want to listen to your fan.
Sorry.
No worries. Don't worry about it. Anyway, it's open mic if you want to come in.
So the Cybertruck bomber in Las Vegas could possibly have been targeted, but possibly not. I don't know. I don't know if you can make a case for it or not. His last notes before he killed himself and blew himself up, made him look like he's been targeted. I don't know if anyone's been following it.
No, we'll have to agree to disagree. The Sean Ryan show invited an army guy that
Sam Hornshoe or something. Yeah.
He was a Green Beret, and he felt that the country's going in the wrong direction, which we all agree that is happening.
But you guys have Trump now. Aren't you happy with Trump?
Well, Trump's not in here yet.
He will be, and everything will be just fine.
No politics. But, he sounded like he's been targeted, But, then again, there was more information about, his girlfriend came out and said he was depressed.
Well, he says the FBI was watching him for a while, so they probably got him to act up. They nudged him, which is what they do a lot.
Well, Was the FBI watching him? I didn't hear that.
Before the event,
that was recent. And the retired Army guy that Sean Ryan interviewed, both of them, I believe, came to the right conclusion in that he was fixing to blow the whistle on some kind of something the Army was doing in 2019, and it wasn't targeting. They were
bombing. Program. Yeah, they were bombing drug facilities and got a bunch of citizens instead.
Yes, killing a lot of women and children.
DEA was involved in it. So the DEA can't get enough out of us. They got to go all over the country, the world.
Yep.
So he was a whistleblower. So then if he's a whistleblower, it's likely.
He hadn't blown the whistle yet. He was fixing to be, and I believe the FBI, whoever got wind of that, and that's why that was recent for them to begin watching him just before he did that.
Yeah, but they were watching him or targeting him like they target us?
They were watching him. There's a big difference. Just like there's a difference between Tulsi Gabbard, she might be followed onto planes, but she doesn't get direct energy. Otherwise, we would have heard about it because of the detailed articles in the news about what she was going through. No mention of direct energy.
Well, people don't like talking about the direct energy, even if they are, right? Because it sounds crazy. Tulsi, they were calling her crazy because she kept saying that, people were following her, and then not until a whistleblower came forward and said that, she's been on a, terror watch list. So if the government does evil things, and we all know that. And if you ever
Jen, your washing machine's still going.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Have you ever seen the show Waco on Showtime? You could tell how evil the government can be. They burned alive women and children in that compound. They used that gas inside that compound, inside the building, and the FBI knew that it was incendiary, and they used it anyway.
I remember that. And it was Janet.
Reno.
What was her name? Janet. Yeah, Reno.
Janet
Reno. And she's. I'm sorry to say, but she was a monster because the decisions were horrendous made by the government. It's like, why aren't you negotiating? Why don't you send in professional negotiators? You certainly have them. It was so tragic, and I thought it was disgusting.
And they covered it. The government covered it. And if you watch that TV show on Showtime, they're called Waco, they go really in depth into it. And then they have a show afterwards called After Waco.
Uh-huh.
So.
I thought it was appalling.
Yeah.
There were so many other choices they could have made.
I'd like to make a comment briefly. I get newsletters from Targeted Justice, a lot of newsletters, and something that really kicks for us trying to prove this is happening to us, to families. There is a German guy that got together with Richard Lighthouse, and it's called IMAUGE, Image des Sturms, and it explains the targeted program. It's actually devastating when you have to put up with a little German, and then Mr. Lighthouse comes on and makes comments, and it's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's absolute proof that this is being done to us from the government, the American government. And check it out. I don't know how to pronunciate German very well, unless it's something corny. And Image des Sturms. This guy is called Harold Brems, and it is really, they just curtailed this crime as far as I'm concerned. And if everybody really wants to know what's going on, targeted justice newsletters are devastating. They're addressing this newsletter with Peterson Space Force Base, and these people who have taken over the control, the management of this, and it just makes, when I look at this and I'm getting dude in bed, this is from a satellite. I'm getting this abuse from a satellite. And the kids on the ground, the local yokel kids, they know how to order this stuff. I don't believe this is Scott's Air Force Base that's over the Mississippi and Illinois. This jazz is happening in town here, or in the state at least. Chicago is real bad, but they're over in Illinois. I've got a brainstorm to get out of Missouri, and I think it's the right brainstorm. Anyway, I just wanted to say about it.
Open mic if you'd like to talk. I have a very bad cramp in the left part of my body, so I am really in pain right now. I don't know what's going on, but it's bad.
I'm sorry to hear that, DJ. This is Tony Medina. There's a part in a book that I want to read. It's only like a page, and the book is called The Gulag Archipelago. And what Jen is discussing, this is going to kind of explain how they do weed out their sadist jailers and that kind of thing. Now, this is from Solzhenitsyn from the Gulag Archipelago. Okay, without even discussing the question of talent, a person can become a jailer in a prison camp or a camp if he is capable of the very least kind of useful activity. Let us ask, on the whole, can a camp keeper be a good human being? Now, think of the camp keeper as your gang stalker or your torturer that's zapping you. Can the camp keeper be a good human being? What system of moral selection does life arrange for them? The first selection takes place on assignment to the MVD armies and the MVD schools. That's their secret police, or MVD courses. Every man with the slightest speck of spiritual training, with a minimally circumspect conscience or capacity to distinguish good from evil, is instinctively going to back out and use every available means to avoid joining this dark legion. But let us concede that he did not succeed in backing out. A second selection comes during training and the first service assignment, when the bosses themselves take a close look and eliminate all those who manifest laxity or kindness. instead of strong will and firmness, cruelty and mercilessness. And then a third selection takes place over a period of many years. All those who had not visualized where and into what they were getting themselves into now come to understand and are horrified. To be constantly a weapon of violence, a constant participant in evil, not everyone can bring himself to this, and certainly not right off. You see, you are trampling on others' lives, and inside yourself something tightens and bursts. You can't go on this way any longer. And men can still begin to fight their way out, report themselves ill, get disability, okay, take off the board, anything out. Does that mean the rest of them have got to get used to it? Yes. The rest of them have to get used to it, and their life already seems normal to them, and useful too, of course, and even honorable. And some didn't even have to get used to it. They had been that way from the very start. Thanks to this process of selection, one can conclude that the percentage of the merciless and cruel among the camp keepers is much higher than the random sample of the population. And the longer and more constantly and the more notably a person serves in the organs or the government, and the more likely they are to become a scoundrel. But
thank you for your book reading, Anthony.
That kind of explains, how they weed people out. If people have the natural tendency to be a sadist and zap other human beings with weapons and kill them slowly, then they're going to be selected for this program. But if you have the slightest bit of sympathy or empathy, you're going to be weeded out and become a very, very low actor in this in the whole scheme of things. And he calls it the organs of government because they serve a certain function in government that like an organ of our body. Like our heart, we can't live without our heart. So this is called an organ of government. Solzhenitsyn, this is a very important book to read, especially if you're targeted.
Thank you for that, Anthony. And our recording is now ending. Thank you for watching or listening on your favorite platform. Please come back next week for more. Thank you again. Please comment, like, and share.